Alright, test, 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 test. Hey, this is Dave, and I'm doing some virtual co-working right now because I don't. It's 3:40 a.m. or here in New Hampshire. It's almost 4, and for some reason I'm not sleepy. I'm kind of sleepy, but I don't feel like going to sleep, so I am going to obstinately just do something, I guess. This is Cat. Oh, he's really sleeping. Oh, no, he's not. So, okay, what am I gonna do? Let's see. Started streaming, just so people know, in the virtual co-working chat room. Out of boredom. So, what's going on? What can I work on? Well, there's some projects I've got going on, so let me spend 15 minutes looking at the JavaScript thing. I've been wanting to remake my website. Let's take a lock at it, just so I can think about it. So, switch over to this view, pull up a browser, let me go to my website. Now, what irritates me about it? Alright, what I'm working on right now is converting the blog. I need to convert all this blog stuff from the database it's in into a bunch of flat files. I wrote a plugin to do this, and I've been working on it in, like, piece by piece. What it does now is it just steps through all the blog posts. So let me start that up. So I'm gonna run my server environment here using MAMP Pro, which runs, actually it configures the web server, runs a MySQL database server, and sets up local domain names, so I can do, instead of going to the internet, I can just check them on my local computer by going to this special address, David say local. And theoretically, if everything is working right, now I'm looking at this version, which is just on my website, so I can play around with this and not screw up my actual website. And so while I'm here, let me go to source tree, and let me open my repo for that. Also, in my text editor, I'm currently using Sublime Text. Let me switch to this one. Alright, so theoretically I can work on something. So let's see where we are. Let me set a 15-minute timer, and then when this is done I'll switch over to something else. Looks like we're having some upload speed issues right now. Not sure what's going on with that. Hopefully this is not screwing up. We've lost several frames already. That's interesting. Oh, this camera's... Let me move this camera back. Noink. This will be the cat cam. Alright. Let's look at the cat cam. Hey, kitty. Meow. What's up, sweetie? You being a good kitty? There. So if you get bored of me talking, you can look at the cat. Yes, you. So, let's see what this actually does. So let me go back here and go to the admin panel. That's weird. These are loud sound. Alright, so I had made this plugin called Say Post Dumper, and right now all it does is it just steps through all the posts, and right now what it's doing is it's reading each post, grabbing the title, creating a new file name for it, and just extracting some tag information. So it looks like, if I go back to here, where is it? It's, did I implement it as a plugin? or to implement it as a, I forgot what I did. And I don't see say dumper, so I think I just actually made it part of the my theme. Let's see. Yeah, so save post dump. You can install it as a plugin in the plugins folder, but what I'm doing is I'm including it manually here. It's probably in the function PHP, which is the standard WordPress theme file for containing code that starts your theme up. And I'm probably doing an include somewhere on, say, post. Yeah, right here. So here's the, say, this is the bulk updater, which I use for updating my post thumbnails manually. So I use a special plugin that inserts post images. It predates WordPress's ability to do that. I wrote this plugin back in 2004. It still works, which is kind of amazing. So that's plugin main PHP, so that's this file here, which is over here on the right. Let's fix something here. I think my accessibility settings are messed up. Yeah, so what I can usually do is, I think this is accessibility, is, I can't drag that over there. Zoom, picture-in-picture options, adjust size and location, and it should be over here on this monitor. Every time I unplug the laptop, it changes it. So now I can do this, and I can zoom in and out so you can see what I'm looking at. So anyway, back to this code. Let's review this. Let's say, shrink this down a bit. So what I have going on here is this is the key function here. Say post dump update one post. This gets called multiple times for each batch that's running. But this is what's doing all the work on a per post basis. So what I've got going here gets an ID, pulls out. So here it's pulling out all the information that I want to dump out. This line is what's printing the actual output here. Let's run this again. I guess I gotta do, where did I do this? Run this like here, and if I run this batch, it's gonna just do the 10 of them instead of doing all 1,000 posts. So yeah, so this is extracting the line. Let's see, path is rtrim. Let me actually comment this a little bit easier. Path, process post, the path is, okay. Let's call this MD path. Oops, didn't do that right. Is that the only places it shows up? It only shows up in 2 places. I'm calling this the markdown MD path because it's going to be the markdown path. And I believe the markdown path is, yeah. So we also need a prefix. Relative should be relative to some place PHP can write to. And then this is a line, process post, permalink. I could probably output this all at the end. No, this has to go here. So then this is grabbing the category slugs. I'll use like some syntax here just to declare. This is just for output. add some numbers here so it's clear when I look at the comments where the actual work is being done. This makes it a little faster for me too. Alright. Turn output to be echoed, appended to the admin page status table. Alright. Make sure we found a valid ID. We want to fill in these. This is the content we're going to save. This is the content. This is, I'm trying to think of how to express this properly. This is the content I don't want to say content. This is the post information that we want to write to a file on disk. I also need oops, ready to process. This is, I'm using a different format here. How many line characters? 78 or 79? So now we're ready to write the data here. What do we want to do? Well, let's see the kitty cam. I will poke the kitty's butt. Kitty. Right, we'll take a brief interlude here. There's the kitty cam. Hey, kitty. Hello, kitty. I'm talking to you, kitty. Yeah, you gonna poke your butt. You don't like that, do you? Got your tail now. Uh-oh, I've aggroed the cat. Hey, sweetie. Woke you up. Now I'm paying the price. No. Did I wake you up? You're an old kitty. Oop. It's 2017. You're 14 years old now? Alright. Uh-oh. Okay, this might be a problem. Now he's inspecting everything. Oh, you go sleep again? You can go down again. There you go. Everything has been inspected. Did you leave some dirt or something on my desk? Here. It's time to sit. Sit, sit, sit. Sit, sit, sit. Sit, sit, sit. Sit, sit, sit. Actually, I don't think this is helping. It's just making you more interested. Alright, I'm just going to ignore you, okay? Let's go back to the screen here. So how do I write something to PHP? I guess we'll have to figure that out. Alright, well, our friend is the internet. How to write a file in PHP. Oh, but I'm using PHP 4, crap. W3schools.com is a site I try to avoid. How to write, let's see what our friends at Stack Overflow are saying. Let's see. This person is trying to open a file and close it, but he is missing the write statement. This is like, I guess that's right. PHP has old school file I/O. What's all this? File put contents? No, it's PHP 5 only. We need to update my web server. I mean, I'll look into that after this 15 minutes is over. It's only been like 13 minutes, interestingly. No, file put contents is a memory nightmare in comparison to fopen. Looking at this. Oh, streams. We have streams too. And this person's saying use fwrite. When was this? This is 2009. So you open up a file pointer, and then you fwrite the stuff to it. Oh, let's look at the manual. I forgot about that. Binary safe file writing. So you get a handle. A handle is a reference to the resources that the operating system, or rather PHP, is keeping open for us. And then the string that we can write to, which is a buffer, I suppose. So we're just writing strings. How does it handle line endings, though? Writing to a stream. And there's a if open and append mode. This is all a bunch of special case stuff. If is writable, that sounds useful. You also want to overwrite files, I think. So right. They're wondering if what's p open process file pointer pack. We're not running binary data, so I think we're fine. So fopen. What are some options? What are modes? Finding a scheme is used to be soon to be URL and PHP will search for a protocol handler. Decides that the file name specifies a local file. Try to open a stream. Oh, okay. So this uses file streams. And so what we want to do is write only. Oops, that's 15 minutes. Let's go for another 15 minutes. What's the difference with the W option and the W plus option? Oh, open for reading and writing. Huh, I didn't know you could do that. I wonder, will this erase the file each time? How do I set the file endings? Oh, okay, I guess we need to do it manually. For portability. We're going to rewrite code that uses or relies on T mode, so it uses the correct line endings in B mode instead. Alright. So, theoretically, we just need to do, let's grab this. The mode, though, is what? Let's look at that again. And so an fwrite resource string length. Where's fopen? And what modes do I have available? Where's this T mode? I was seeing them. Open mode. These look like creation modes. open mode, resource context. Let's use include path. Third parameter can be set to 1 to true if you want to search for the file in the include path too. Okay. Context. That sounds like something new. It's in PHP 5, so I can't use it. I guess PHP 5 actually supports streams and classes, it looks like. PHP 4 had classes. Alright, so let me look at F-right again. What's this binary mode stuff? I see references in F-open. There's that note that says for portability rewrite that applies to the T mode. For portability, the B flag. Where's the B flag? I don't see it listed here. So text translation mode. I was referring to this flag, but I don't see it anywhere described in the actual documentation. Oh wait, to use these flags, specify either B or T as the last character of the mode parameter. It's buried. Am I just not seeing it? It's an example of crap documentation. I mean, it's informative, but you have to read the whole thing. If you do not specify the B flag, alright. So I guess we're going to do this. So we're going to do fopen, or string file pointer is equal to fopen, then we need some sort of path. And then we need the mode, which is going to be, we're going to write binary. I guess that's what it's supposed to look like. Our path is going to be I think PHP has some sort of restriction on where you can actually write data. So I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't. Can you write? Are you allowed to write in the directory above the script? This is one reason why I want to get away from PHP, because like it's all these weird security rules that, like, if you don't know what you're doing, which I don't, hackers can exploit you. Let's see, get WP content directory in WordPress. I know there's a call to do this. I just don't remember what it is. Get template directory. Content URL. So get template directory to retrieve the child theme. Get style sheet directory will get the path. There are other ones. There's theme paths. Get template. Get theme roots. Theme root, get style sheet, get style sheet, get style sheet directory, get template directory, get template. What does get template do? Retrieves the directory name of the current theme without the trailing slash. Nope. Oh, okay, this is the directory name only, not the full path. I need the full path, I think. Or I could just do a relative directory, knowing that the script is I know where the script is relative in the theme, so I can just bounce back out of it. What's this content URL thing? Is there another path that's where home URL? upload dir. Actually, the upload dir is what I want, I think. Get an array containing the upload dir path and URL. It should be from the web root folder. So we can pass a string. Time. Create dir is true. Refresh cache is false. This is weird. What does this actually do? They didn't bother to format this. Thank you. So get path, URL, subdir. Oh, that's interesting. I think you call this. Alright, let's just see what it looks like. So let's just add some stuff here. Let's comment that out, and just append the path. So string upload should be WEP upload dir. I don't think there's any parameters we need. So let's just output. Oh, we need to get path out of that. And let's see what it looks like. Or does it crash horribly? Let's rerun this. Post dumper, go. Submit. Crash! No, it did crash. Oh, it didn't. Array path. That sucks. So this is returning some stupid thing. Let's see. I wonder if I could just print R. How do I inspect? Upload path. Wordpress free. Jess is saying that she's deleted all her WordPress sites. Good for her. Let's see now what I want. It's saying this code, this documentation is saying that a path try to figure out how to get the output out of PHP without spilling it all over the place. I guess we'll just see what happens. This probably won't work. Print R, I think, is the command. Is it print R? But we'll output it right to the screen. I think I want maybe I want var dump. Nope, that actually outputs, it looks like. I don't want to use these output, so we just use the return. True. I guess I'll dump the whole thing. So this should grab the output of WP upload dir, because I can't tell what the hell is supposed to be in it. Oops. That poor ass documentation. So we will inspect it. hope that this works. So we have an array. I guess this is a path. It's an array of arrays? What does this mean? It's a baster. Inadvertently. The baster is... So I guess this looks like... Oh, it's an associative array? Alright, yeah, that's what it's doing. So I guess this would be up the path. So it's an array. How's the associative array syntax? It should be something like this. Maybe that will work. So let's do line print upload path. See what that does. And okay, finally, so I grabbed this. That's correct. So we just need to get that. So our upload path is going to be, and is there a trailing slash on this? Dot. There's not. Let's say dumper. And then we will do combine these two things. There's a Alright, let's see if this does anything. So, what happened? I screwed this up somehow. Uploading path. Oh, it's because I'm doing this. So this should be... weird PHP output rules. Alright, so this whole path looks like it's correct. I'm not sure why it's... Okay, let's go for another 15. So theoretically... Let's change this up a little bit. So the process path, the permalink, that should still be MD path. And now, but we want to be able to write here. So our file pointer is going to be fopen path, which is going to be string upload path plus the MD path. And that should open a reference. I suppose we should check for errors, but let's see if this works. So then we should be able to F-write a bunch of stuff. But what are we going to write? So this is where I want to actually have some YAML formatting. So how would I do that? How do I write formatted? And what is the YAML mattered format anyway? I don't even remember what that is. I think it's... We want it to look like... let's see, prop period value, prop value, then I think we want this, the divider line, and then we want content. And that will eventually include comments as well, but right now we're not doing that. So, how do I write this? I guess open this in binary mode. Open file in binary mode. And we need to pick the right line endings. What are the right line endings for Linux? What are the right line endings? Let's see. PHP line endings, Mac OS. I think they're just carriage return, but or they used to be. This is from 2000, which is probably what is the line ending? Let's just look this up. Line endings, text file. I really just want a reference. Traditionally, Unix and macOS differ. Carriage return, Unix is a line feed. How old is this article? Classic applications still require line feeds, but use command lines. Alright, so we'll use line feeds. The line feed is the /n. So like, we should be able to do something like slug. Can I do interpretation in here? Or is that a property of this type of like double quote? Slug is string slug. No. Title, slug, permalink. Do I want the permalink? That's the old link. We don't really need it in our conversion. We also want the categories though. I am actually not saving them. Alright, so cast as WP categories is getting all the fields. We're dumping it out to this. We'll do it like this. String cat props. I'll get the length. PHP length of array. Is it actually a function or is it a size of? Seriously? No, I guess it is size of. That is weird. Alright, so we're going to start with these properties, and we're going to do this. Cat props. I want the slug. So why I'm wanting to know the size of is that if it's 1, so it's going to, for each one it's going to append that plus a space. No, actually, I guess I don't need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just R-trim it. And we don't need this. Afterwards, we're going to trim. Do I actually need to reassign it to itself? Is that how this works? Where do I invoke it? As it's not an object, so I probably just don't invoke it. So that will trim off any space at the end. And then I want to also do string line dot equal c dot cat props. And then I want to duplicate it for this. Cancel is equal to that. Or tags, I mean. String tag props equal to that. If tags do the same thing, it gets rid of this. String line dot equal. I'm sure we should put this above that because we can use that extra space. This is going to be t dot string tag props, and then string tag props, trim string tag props. So if I haven't goofed that up, oh wait, let's fix this part. This is going to say tag slug. Tag props, tag slug, so we'll get a whole bunch of different tags. So here, this is going to have categories. Categories or category? Let's do categories. This will be tag props, or cat props. Likewise, tags. This will be tag props. Then we want to write, oh, I forgot to write the line feed. N, 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 N. And then we want to write a divider, 3. And then we want to write the content. I guess we'll just do this and see what happens. And we'll write one final, just in case there's no ending line feed, we'll add one. And let's see what this does. If this all works correctly, I should end up with a bunch of files in a folder called say dumper in the WP content uploads folder. I'll be amazed if this works. Okay, here it goes. Or it'll kill my computer and everything will die. Alright. Oh, hey sweetie. You gonna stretch? Okay, did it do anything? I can't tell. Did I run it? Let's see. I missed it. The cat distracted me. No, you're distracting me. No, stop it. No. Ah. So that would be in my dsay web vhosts ds local oops, that's the wrong WP content. It's in sys WP content. I said uploads. I don't see a say dumper folder, so I don't think it made it. I thought I was supposed to create that file if it wasn't there, so, but maybe there was an error, or maybe I didn't actually run it. I thought I did. Not seeing any error messages pop up, which is disturbing. How do I access the error log in PHP again? I wonder if MAMP does, it gives me access to that. Is there logging in this? Recent hosts. Ports editor. Oh, there's an error log. What's this do? Just open it? Or is this? It's in the MAMP folder. Damn it, cat. Alright, so... Oh, here it is. Ah! Is this actually doing something? Timeout. I don't know if this is my error. It's 3:53. This is old, I think. Are there any other logs in here? Let's see if it was... Damn it, cat. Let's see. So it says that this is in... Where? Applications? How do we get there? Is it slash... How do I mount this? How do I find this? It's volumes, I think. CD... The Mac file system was a little mystifying to me. Okay, where is this? Volumes Macintosh HD. It's like a symbolic link though. Applications, MAMP. Oh. Logs. Oh, so it would be in PHP error log. So let's tail -f plus n10 PHP error log. Okay, so now we're seeing the actual errors coming out. Warning, fclose expects one command to be resource. What did I do? Oh, let's run it again. Oops, hey. How come it's not following? Okay, so we're following that file, which means that when I run this, as it updates, let's figure out how to do this. As this updates, I should see errors pop up. I don't need that window. This window I'll put over here. This I'll put over here. Alright, so now if I run this, I should see output happen. So submit. Alright, this is a whole bunch of errors happened. Well, where did mine begin? Let's try it again. Actually, I should just do it once. Just keep the batch size of 1, so I'll just process one post. So, alright, effort expects parameter 1 to be resource. Boolean given in 190, 192. So, and, oh, okay, this is, that's not even the, wait, no such file directory. And, alright, so it actually didn't, I guess the directory doesn't exist. Is there a way that I can make, if open will create the directory path? This is a typical problem, I think, with doing file I/O. PHP ensure directory. That's the easiest way to, that's not even the result I'm looking for. Ugh. File exists. Does this not exist on PHP? String file name. Alright, so I think we want to do something like this. if file exists, not file exists, and we want to do a string upload path, we want to make dir it, which I guess, is there a make dir command? Oh. The default for the mode is 777, that's okay. So I want the path name. I need to provide the mode. How do I specify an octal number in PHP? I guess just like that, really? And we want to create the folders. So it would look like, I already forgot make dir. Is there underscore in that? No. Make dir string upload path 0777 true. Sure, the directory exists for writing. Actually, we actually want to use the slug as part of the directory path. Okay, this is actually, I've actually screwed this up. So this actually has to be this has to be a nested directory. Create directory structure. And so the final path, I guess. Am I already using file path? The path is equal to string upload path dot md path, and that is going to be a whole slug though. But the file itself is going to be, we'll take a look at this. So here's the whole path. We actually don't want, we're actually going to create subdirectories, and we don't want that to have the MD at the end. We actually want this to be content. That slug is the directory. MD path. So we actually need to rename this. This is not called MD path. This is called content path. And the content path has a parse. We actually don't want to trim it anymore because we need that trailing slash. And the we'll call this content MD. let's do this, error log, file path. So then, the file path doesn't exist. Oh, no, wait. Okay, so then this becomes, I'm going to open this file path plus, oops, I missed it, content md. I don't think file exists is the command I want. Is there a directory exists? Exists. I guess file exists might be the, is that used for both? Oh, okay, check so the file or directory exists, so that's okay. The file exists, the file path, which is uploader plus slug. In fact, that slug is, that's weird. Wait a moment. Content path is different than a slug. Plus, this is a permalink structure. Right, okay, and then we go on to slug. Permalink structure plus content. Alright, so this should output, this should work better. Let's again run one batch of that. Say post dumper 1 submit, and here is the output that I told it to. So it's going to upload say dumper 20 version of you filling the boxes. That's good. That's the, but a PHP warning. Failed to open stream. And all these things fail because there's no resource there. If string fp else, how can I access the file error? PHP does some way of grabbing the file, the error. It's probably a flag or something like that. On the failure, an E warning is, his file is writable. Is there an error? Error reporting. Let's see. Oops, I'm in the wrong thing. So we have this. Let's see make sure this value is correct. Let's try that again. Oops. Process just one. Okay, and file exists. Why did that actually? So this is what it tried to create. Failed to open stream. No such file or directory. I thought I was supposed to create the damn file. Isn't that what this was supposed to be? Error log attempted to make file. Attempted to make dir string the file path. How do I get errors out of this? Do I use a try catch? Error log to open the joy of joy. So what do we get here? So according to this, the file exists. We have say dumper. It's empty. Something seems fishy. The file path should be pointing to this one, so the content path, I don't see it. Blood path, content path. That's the content path. If the file doesn't exist, tries to create it. Oh, I screwed that up. Duh. That's stupid of me. Alright, this should work then. Attempted to make dir good. So turn the F open, so then it should have written everything. So what do we got? Did it work? Oh, 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 oh. That's exciting. Let's open that sucker. And I didn't want it to open that. Let's open it with what's the hot editor? Visual Studio Code, let's say. Alright, so it actually looks like it almost wrote my format correctly. I forgot to add a line feed, so here is the properties. I probably need a URL and code these. That includes all the content that was there. And it actually worked. Holy crap. I think additional things I need to do is just to parse the content and then pull out all the images and then download and copy them into that directory too. Alright, so let me fix this. So this is missing the line feed. And so what happens if I rerun this? Let me put this over here. And let me run this again. Let's run 10 of them though. What I'm curious is if it will actually write everything. Well, it seems to have pulled several. This is a weird order though. Oh, this is because I haven't been writing very much. I think I should just be open a folder. How do I do that? Let me close this. Don't save. Can I add another editor? How do I do that? Close all editors. File, open recent. Do I create editor? Open. I think this works based on folders. I'm not sure. But it would be say web, view hosts. They would say local. Lose audio? Not so good. Here, 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 here. Not do anything. Okay, so now we can browse these. So there's content MD. That format looks correct. It has pulled my categories and my tags, which is great. Yeah. So now that actually worked. I am amazed. So let's commit this before I screw everything up. So here what we've done, this is the news, this is, look at my last commit. So in this commit we say dumper now writes a content MD is it YAML data file. Actually, it's not really a YAML. It's not really an MD file, is it? What should I call it? It's not really a YAML file either. What is that called again? When this is a template format that I've seen everywhere, but I don't know what the actual file format is called. With front matter and content, or let's go metadata and content. For each existing permalink. So what is the next step? Let's get rid of these error log things. Could not open. And this should be path.content.md. You know, I should do this. String the file was equal to string the file path dot content md Alright. Yeah, commit that yet? Let's make sure that still works. post dumper. Let's do... I don't think 20 will work, but we'll see. Well, I guess it did. Sometimes the content processing can be quite memory hoggy. And where it happened to my Visual Studio Code instance. Here it is. And how come it under my editor? Did I close it? What the hell? Okay. Let me go this format works. So thoughts are reducing distance. I forgot what I was looking at here. I was just making sure it worked. And I got rid of those editors. So we don't need that anymore. Yeah. How did I clear this tab again? Terminal view. Edit. Clear. Scroll back. What is that? I never can figure out that. Is that a shift key or is that the... No, this is a shift key. That's the option key. Okay, there we go. So if this is markdown, so not everything that I have there has been retained as markdown. Status. I newly run an LZO parser now, and then to pull all the images out. And then download them to... Well, actually, no. I don't need to do that because I'm going to still have the same. No, well, actually, I do need to do it. I should have it. I should download all the existing images and recache them. So that might be the thing to do. And then there's processing. Some of these URLs are going to have to change too. Twitter, status. Okay, so let me just write some notes here. So this thing still works, so I can just recommit this. Commit. And since I'm the only one doing it, I'm just going to amend the last commit. Change the history of that. And I can push this to the repo now. Alright. Okay, so I got something out of the way that I had been wanting to do for quite some time. So I feel like I've gotten something done. It's 5 a.m. This was something I had wanted to do. I guess the next thing to try would be to see if I can run the whole thing. And see what we end up with. So instead of just doing the last batch size, we're going to do all of it. And this might take forever. So you can see here now it's actually going through all the posts, 10 posts at a time. It's going pretty fast too. You can see over here that it's filling in as more things are happening. So, oops. Yeah, so these are growing. I guess it's just pulling them in whatever order that's in the database. This is actually going to be a nice way to just review all the titles of stuff. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. I'm curious if it'll actually just run out of memory. It's up to 470. There should be like, let's see how many of these posts there are. There should be like 1,000, 1,200 or something like that. I also need to pull the comments out too, though. Just watching this thing go. So in 2011. Stream of consciousness posts. Looks like there's a little bug I have here. I shouldn't output the T if there's nothing in it. I guess that's alright. Everything should have a category. Tags are relatively less. So then the interesting thing will be to be able to write a parser that will go through everything in the directory and then extract data about it and then create the HTML pages in a template. It's kind of exciting. And even more exciting is like extending the whole category thing. I may want to rethink how I do the directory breakdowns. I mean, it might be better to do it by category. No, because there's no uniqueness. I need to have some way of, well, okay. The archives can retain this structure. These are archives. The new stuff will be different, so I need to remember that. It's still going. It's still going. It's in 2006 now. When it gets all the way down to 2004, it should be done. And while I'm doing this, I could actually have it maybe do a word count. In 2006, I guess there's more posts than I thought. 2000. I used to write a lot more. How many posts are there? Yay, got my it's still going. You're in 2005 though. Getting close. It hasn't crashed, that's good. I guess so. Let's see what else. But you know what? The option of doing this before was to do this all by hand. Opening up every post in WordPress, copying and pasting it to a file, manually adding the title and the posts and stuff, and that would have taken forever. It's still going. And looking at some of these titles here. It's finished. Noink. Okay, that's not working. Finished. Okay, let's see what we got. 2004, 9, 10, 11, 12, 05, 01, 2, 3, and all the way to 2007. This is not the most up-to-date. But let's just take a look at a random post from, let's say 2011, on May. That's weird. We've lost the, there's no title for this. Oh, that's because my permalinks no longer use the day. It just includes the year and the month. So that's a little. Maybe I should have a sequence number in it. No, that's alright. Nifty hard brown mini ETP content. Okay, this is one of the ones that got screwed up by WordPress when it converted everything. That's strange. No, I guess that's right. Thanks, WordPress. Or, that was Jetpack, that was the problem. Fucking Jetpack. But not all of them got screwed up, it looks like. No, wait, this one's screwed up. This is no longer Markdown. But I'm not going to worry about the archive so much. So this is great though. So I guess the next thing to do is see if I can actually have it pull the comments out too. But I think this is enough for now. This feels good. Next steps would be, now where am I going to keep them? That's the question. It's 5:13 a.m. Working in concept. I'm still not sleepy. What else can I do? I could work on 1701. Let's do a little bit of writing on that. So 1701 is the new library. Let's take a look at that on GitHub. So project 1701, it was the HTML5 JavaScript game framework in build environment, and this one is pretty basic, it looks like. Actually, let's go over here and quick switch to projects. 1701. And so this was like a refactored version of 1401, which is the game engine framework that we're building all this, building the learning software stuff for the researchers at UCLA and Indiana U. And it's the game engine too. In fact, I think I took that down, but let's see if we can still run it. Let's go to project 1401. It's the older version. And cd dev cd 1401a1 build, and this is using Mimosa, I think. Oops, how does this run again? Mimosa server? No, it's not using Mimosa. What does this use? What? Why is this using gulp? Did I convert it to gulp? I guess I did. Oh, that's right, I did. 1401 got converted. So, if I go now to this address, localhost 3000, and yes, been a while since I looked at it. So this was like the sort of the test game engine for just like having a sprite, having like visuals, maybe some rudimentary physics. You know, so you can see the parallax scrolling that's going on. And so we're using this and to make various things. It's got AI stuff in it. But there's a lot of stuff that's not in here that's in the current code base that I would like to move over and refine. And since I'm doing this as a separate project, that means I don't have to bill the universities for that. They're using the AIM engine in their stuff, and it's under MIT license, so like they can do anything they want with it. But it would be nice to do something more. And so, but what I was talking about with the guy I'm working with, Ben, is that 1701 was initially going to be a refactor of the game engine itself. But I'm thinking of getting this away from actually being a game engine and being it more of a kind of a distributed compute environment. And what do I mean by that? Oops, that's wrong. I want this. One of the cool things that I wrote was this thing called Unisys, which was a way of having multiple web apps running on the LAN. Because the way what we're deploying for this educational software is we have a main browser that's presenting the game, and then we have individual iPads talking to that, and we also have utilities that also talk to the main game controller. But in the first pass we did, we wrote this. How did I do this? It was basically a socket-based communication channel. The server, which is Node.js running on the game machine, would open a socket connection to browsers, or browsers would open a socket connection back to it, and it would basically just forward socket messages back and forth. However, a lot of the operations we were doing required knowing which application we were addressing, and there could be multiple ones. We had to look up the socket name and the name of the application, and there could be multiple copies of the application running. So, for example, there might be there's only one main game screen, but there could be 5 controller apps. So how do you manage those, and then how do you have them all find each other and not maintain some sort of active directory on the server? And it'll be a pain in the butt. And if you were doing things like, okay, I want to save a file from app 1, or app 1 decides I want to save save a screenshot of the game screen, which is a different computer running a different app. So it has to receive the message, save the data, send that to the server, and when the server is done sending it, it has to then tell the original requester that it saved it by sending another message, and then it can continue doing what it was supposed to do. So there's all this transactional BS that was really complicated to take care of. So what Unisys does is Unisys reimagines all these web apps as actually being part of the same app, and they talk to each other just by requesting services. And so what ends up happening is it's like message passing. So like app number 1 says, like, I want to raise the screen save thing, and then I want to pick this game. So it just issues it, and then whoever implemented that command handles it, and then whoever handled that command sends it back to the requester. And so there's all this code that keeps track of who requested what, and handles the transaction interface through a fairly elegant callback mechanism. So you can chain stuff along. It's like await async before that became available. It's kind of based on promises, or it's based on jQuery. So you can do these chains of requests, and then all the network communication and the data stuff is handled behind the scenes. So it's easier to write asynchronous transactions. And the cool thing about this, and with the whole every app is part of the same system, you can then easily create distributed applications. And the game application I was thinking specifically was you could write a Star Trek bridge simulator with this. So you can have one computer that's handling like the display of like the screen, and you know, with the showing what's going on to everybody else, and then each individual laptop that's, or you know, iPad that's on the same network that's connected to the server, you know, basically becomes like another console. And you know, there's so many security modes. So each console then, if it's running a specific app, implements only the messages that it understands, and it implements messages like status-based messages that it needs to be able to update its display. And so the cool thing about this is you don't care if there's anyone else running these messages someplace. You don't need to know their address. You don't need to know if they're running or not. The server takes care of it, and the Unisys messaging system handles it. And it's transactional. So you issue a transaction, and then your code. So you can press a button, and you want something to display. You press that button, you issue a Unisys call, and then it fires the rest of the rendering code when that call returns off the network, whatever data it needs. And then you can modify that data and send it back. And so this all happens asynchronously. So it makes it a lot easier, I think, to write these kind of user interfaces without running a bunch of like, you know, bullshit like polling or but that's cool. So that's something that I wanted to bring into 1701, although it goes beyond the game engine stuff. I think actually making 1701 into a system that allows you to create these networked data flow apps or message flow apps is more interesting actually than the game engine. The game engine part kind of works already, so maybe that's all right. But the next part of it would be to, in addition to the message flow, is to add data processing to it. So we have another ability to introduce data sources and data sinks into the system. And like Unisys message protocols, it doesn't care who exists. It just is like a type of thing emitting these objects. So essentially, once you add one of these data sources to the network, it's like you put something into that sensor space, and it just starts emitting stuff. And then people who are interested in that kind of data, or interested in the kind of data that's available, can then start inspecting it using a number of different, I guess, standard inspection tools. And so I think this would be interesting for making kind of environmental or kind of augmented reality type stuff, in which you just want to plug in a bunch of stuff and then see what happens. It's kind of like a physical version of this old game called Rocky's Boots, in which it was a modeler for circuits. So let's see if we can find it actually. Oops. This is still running. Rocky's Boots. This is a really, really old but seminal game. This actually looks like actual boots. That's not what I'm looking for. Apple II, Rocky. Am I spelling it wrong? Rocky's Boots. It's been a long time since. Rocky's Boots for the Apple II, Moby Games. So here's some screenshots of it. Oh. So yeah, you can see like the computer resolution was like really low back then. This was like effectively 140 by 192 pixels. So yeah, the interesting thing was, so you were presented with this virtual space. And you'd use the IJKM key cursor keys on the keyboard to move around. It's probably easier to see if there's a movie version of this. Let's go to YouTube and see. Rocky's Boots. Yeah, oh, there's a PC version, huh? There's a C64 version? Okay, let's look at this one. I'm an Apple II guy, so we should watch the Apple II version. Let me switch some stuff around here. Switch this back to loopback. So now theoretically, this should be you be able to hear this on the. Yeah, there's actually not a whole lot of sound happening. Beep. So yeah, so this was an electronic simulator, and so here you have these sensor things. So this is your cursor. You should be moving around the edge KM. I don't know if this is recording. Yeah, it is. Okay. And so these, you can build circuits out of this. So this is an active thing, and so if you connect it to it, that's an inverter, and that's a boot kicker, I think. Yeah, so, or is that a speaker? How would you like to make a machine that would kick everything that's not a cross? So that's a cross detector. And the cross activates the boot thing. Can you build a machine that kicks only green crosses? So, like, that's a AND gate, I think. And that's interesting. I didn't realize I had that restriction. So, if it's a cross and it's green, kick it. So, green, that's lighting up. That's lighting up. Yeah, so you can see that what's being detected. I wonder if anyone made a newer version of this. Oh, kick that thing! Excellent. How about kicks either crosses or green things? So anyway, the idea of having an environment that's like kind of like a networked version with apps and Internet of Things type stuff. That might be something that's pretty cool to make. In any case, like the network part of being able to make some sort of like network Star Trek bridge game, or even just like have like these kind of toys that will interact with the space and allow you to do some basic filtering with it. That might be an interesting environment for building more museum type like games, and also it would be much faster to prototype some ideas. And the game engine stuff is stuff that, you know, the actual drawing things, those are things that can work separately. But building the environment around that, I think would have much more application now. And so that's something I want to get working. So I think I'm done. I'm even more awake though than I was before because I'm not excited about stuff. So I wonder if there was like a Rocky's Boots update. Like, those are a Rocky's Boots 2000. Rocky's Boots game updated. Let's see if in Wikipedia. 1982 this came out. 1982 I would have been how old was I? I was like 15 or something like that. This was 9th on the list of top educational software. This is an outstanding game. The engine of the game was used in other learning companies. Robot Odyssey, the sequel. I never knew there was a sequel. Gertrude's Secrets? What? I don't know, there's a page of the co-author. There was a visual simulation that made it possible for upper grade school students to design simple digital logic circuits. This was like a genius game. Oh, I guess it was actually a raccoon named Rocky. What have these guys been up to? Walter Ribbon and Leslie Grimm. Is he still there? Revolvi. What? I'm not familiar with this Gertrude's Secrets game. He's a designer, born 1951. He developed Adventure? Really? Wow! Well, Atari 2600 Adventure. Robot Odyssey. Most recently he's been working on virtual reality projects. That's interesting. Robot Odyssey. I don't remember this at all. He wrote the basic programming cartridge. He's worked for virtual reality projects for NASA. Wow. What's the most recent article? Hmm. $1980. Yeah. No, there are fans. Gertrude's Secrets. I do not know. I like looking up and seeing what people have been up to. Who's Leslie Grimm? There's a lot of Leslie Grimms. That doesn't look. Alright. His homepage. He co-founded the learning company, huh? Then he designed Rocky's boots. Well, this guy's cool. Anyway, it makes my idea seem kind of dumb, but I still want to make it and see what happens, because that's what we do. We make stuff, we try it out, and that's the way it should be. It's not a question of whether or not someone else has done it or has done it better, but our own individual journeys take us through similar paths, and we will extract our own unique experiences and takeaways. And who knows what will happen. So I think I'm done for tonight. I got some good stuff done. Pretty excited. Plus the battery is probably